In summer of 2025, D-Money dropped his long-awaited album, Humble Goat. Fans had waited months for him to follow up his sophomore project, Wake Up D-Money. Many were doubting he would be able to follow up such an incredible offering. And yet, when we woke up and we pressed play, oh my god, those doubts flew away like, well, a million little birds. A reference you'll understand if you listen to the aforementioned album. I apologize, my roommate Sanjeet Oatmore is, well, up to casualties at the moment.
Hello mate, yeah, I'm just here playing my video game while my roommate, Daniel that Genius, performs his video, and I didn't mean to be a bother, but, you know, I am playing the video game, so I deeply apologize, but you must understand.
Have you forgotten about common courtesy, Sanjeet?
I deeply apologize, I hope you can forgive me, but, it'll be over soon, you know.
I'll be sure to slime him later. Wake Up D-Money saw D-Money on top of his game, both lyrically, sonically, and his flow like butter down an ever-trued stream. So to come off one of the most hyped up album releases in modern music history is definitely a dangerous feat. How did he do? Well, I hereby give you D-Money's Humble Goat review. The album starts off with the iconic Wake Up D-Money tag, read by common D-Money collaborator Young Mark. The man uses Playboi Carti's beat for Cocaine Nose in a fairly creative way. The guy absolutely spazzes on one of his best rapping performances to date. What really stands out here is the opening line in the callback to Liana Flowers, from the Liana Flowers Broke My Heart scandal. The man is finally ready to let the thing go, bridge under the water, and you have to apprehend him for that. I mean, it's hard to get over a blow that low, but the man does it. D-Money season, we stepping on shit, we got weapons and shit, I just slept with your bitch? This man's rhyme schemes are mind-boggling. Wow. Another callback. The beef with Bond and Rick. Same situation. I mean, the man... Track 2. Shrimp Sandwich. Featuring longtime collaborator Benny San 29. I was absolutely surprised to see his name on the list of features. I mean, I heard the man's got his own album in the works. So, I'm absolutely ready to hear what's next from him. D-Money decides to flip a Kodak Black's beat for Transportin', and he does an absolutely stellar job. Once again, using that, I want to say it's a Detroit-style flow. If I had to pinpoint on the map the exact location in which he gets his rhyme scheme and delivery. Yeah, you know, very Detroit style. Very much a Detroit-style flow. Yeah, fantastic track. And, yeah, you know, it's grippy. I'm sorry, I had to. But, yeah, it's, there's a juxtaposition on this album, which I will later discuss, of, his more pure technical rapping, as juxtaposed with his more melodic cadences. As a matter of fact, if you look at the track list, the album is perfectly split from the more pure spaz rapping, you know, there's some Detroit and DMV-inspired flows in there. The second half, however, it takes a more melodic turn, experimenting with both jerk and melodic Lil Durk Chicago-style production. Our next example of a song that is pure rapping, pure heat, and pure geek boy bliss is Not My Son. An MJ flip, of all people. Essentially, Michael Jackson raising from the tomb to pass the torch to a young D-Money. Cash D-Money, some might say. Yeah, you know, he absolutely puts a genius spin on Michael Jackson's signature hit, Billie Jean. And, yeah, you know, he's been called by, He's been called by fellow collaborator Welcome to the second coming of Babytron, which is a fair assessment. I mean, yeah, there's certainly some Tron inspiration in terms of both the sample flip and the flows on track here. Certainly Tron inspired for sure. So to call him the second coming, you know, with his witty lyrics, his fast-paced flow, and his sample flips, yeah, not a ridiculous claim at all. You know, many fans didn't expect him to hop on an MJ-inspired beat, but my God, when he does so, it's fantastic. Track 4, the LaserDim 700 inspired Laser Flow. Of course, the titular LaserDim being the inspiration for the flow on track. Yeah, absolutely laser focused, some might venture to say. But seriously, he's absolutely on point, and clocking in only a minute long really just punches in. I mean, yeah, the flow is an absolute replication of the flow of that of LaserDim 700. And hopefully the man, you know, one day recognizes this and perhaps collabs with D-Money. We'd love to hear that collaboration. I mean, the amount of fast-paced, vigorous flows that would be present on a collaboration between both Laser and Money. Oh, I can picture it now. Oh, the sound hitting my ears from every which way. Oh my God. Oh, splendid. Track 5, Hit or Miss, takes us on a bit of a sonic journey, starting off as a traditional rap hit. Turns into a cover of Jacob Sartorius's 2016 venturing hit, Hit or Miss. And yeah, the voyeur into cover for D-Money is one that we haven't seen before. We've seen parodies, of course, giving One Block Away and Earthquake, but a straight-up cover is something we've yet to see him a voyeur into, and he does absolutely pleasant. There's a mix of his rapping on the verses, as well as an auto-tune chorus, which the auto-tune on the chorus is almost like a little preview of what's to come later in the album. Of course, with the last pure rapping with no melodicness present being in track 6, Frying Me, featuring none other than Reflex. I've heard D-Money and Reflex pretty much both have their spots secured for next year's XXL freshman class, which is downright fantastic, because, my God, those two boys, I love them. I love everything about them. They're blissful, they're geeky, they're handsome, and, you know, for being pretty much the two rappers on the song, I like it. I just like it. Many fans, including longtime collaborator GLX Rex, exclaim this is one of Reflex's weaker verses, and though I don't think it holds a candle to his Friday and 2K25 Handsome Freestyle verses, the man holds his own on this lucky type beat. Almost, I can imagine maybe Babyface Ray having his hand on this beat, and, you know, perhaps he may hop on for a remix. Ladies and gentlemen, the back half of Handsome Goat. Handsome Goat. God, I completely got it mixed. Is called Humble Goat. So, no, track 7, A Million Little Birds, which I previously referenced in the beginning of the video, featuring Gu Chang, who just bears his heart on this track, you know, admitting to being a bit of a domestic abuser, and spending a dime on a dime bag, as well as seeing through his rectum. Graphic verse for sure, but, you know, definitely in the vein of that of previous rappers. You know, this is one of the more melodic cuts on the album, and I respect just a jump from the more pure rapping styles found on the first half, including the previous track, Frying Me, right into a more melodic cut that is practically a voyeur into singing. You know, I've heard rumors the guy may one day drop an album of entirely singing with no pure rapping involved. And I'd love to hear that from him, because this track is pretty much a preview into the future of D-Money as an artist. Although he isn't likely to betray his old rapping style, you know? I definitely think he'll veer into more of a singing style in the future, which I certainly look forward to. A million little birds and they fly for me. What more could be said? And what more could be said about the following line? Just die for me, just kill yourself for me, and please record it. Very, very graphic. You know, this song takes a bit of an edgy turn for D-Money, but yeah, we actually enjoy that voyeur as fans. It's raw, it's gritty, it's I'm not gonna say it again, am I? Track 8 is a fan favorite. Cherry Girl, featuring Lil Pa and Thilky Smooth, brother of D-Money. First of all, Lil Pa on the chorus, bearing his heart out, exclaiming his yearning for his cherry girl. You know, clearly intended by other lyrics to be a much older woman, you know, and seems to be his preference, and we can't hold him for that. D-Money delivers 3 absolutely excellent verses: the opening verse, the one preceding Lil Pa's verse, and the third, in which he claims he used to be called Turkey Boy in middle school. A pretty rude title to receive, especially as such a young middle schooler. But yeah, you know, he's absolutely bearing his heart out. And what more could be said about well, Thilky Smooth's outro? You know, Gumby flow, assquake in a buffon. This track is essentially a preview of what would come on Thilky Money, his collaboration with the aforementioned Thilky Smooth. You know, very, very Dirk, Lil Papa inspired flow. Sanjeet! Could you not see I was recording?
I'm sorry, mate. It's just I had to take a shower, and now I'm back from my shower.
And you didn't invite me to the shower?
Well, it was a little preoccupied and not enough space for 2. You know I would on any other day, but today I was feeling myself in that shower, mate.
Were there other boys in the shower?
You bet there were.
Was Taste-Wise in the shower?
You caught me. You fucking caught me, mate.
Track... Sorry, I'm laughing at the thought of it. Track 9, Accelerate Always, Fabulist, featuring... This is real, by the way. This is an actual feature from Blade. Yes. Blade, baby. Woo! If you don't know, Blade is my all-time favorite artist. Punkin' Love and Sebi notwithstanding. So, when I saw the track list released for D-Money's Humble Goat, and I saw track 8, Accelerate Always, featuring Blade, oh my god. What more can be said from Buffalo's top drainer? Oh my. I mean, D-Money and Blade, my favorite rapper stateside and my favorite Swedish rapper, collabing. Sorry. I'm getting a little wet at the thought. She says I'm a nice boy, but I'm a ice boy. Only pop out in the night, boy. I should see light more. The man absolutely bears his aching heart on this instrumental. I mean, it sounds almost Insama-san inspired, you know, the beat. And, you know, for that to be a voyeur in Blade's career of more modern underground production. You know, we got a bit of that on Cold Visions, but this is a complete voyeur into modern underground production with a very Che Osa Mason inspired beat, which was just fantastic to the ear. Appeals to the human ear wonderfully. I was hitting X's while listening to this one. I couldn't help it. I'm a Cone Stole drainer through and through, and you know what, I'll just spoil it. This right here is my favorite track on the entire project. Track 10 features a beat switch. Fook Me / Fook You is a great addition to his Jerk catalog. First pioneered by Handsome Boys Do Nothing Wrong which, by the way, is now available on streaming platforms all across America and whatever country you happen to be in. And, oh my god, this track's fantastic. The first half, a more hyper jerk cloud type beat, as opposed to the second, more laid back, chill, damn near tear jerking, pun most certainly intended. Tear jerking second half. Almost Joey Smoke Dope inspired second half, while still keeping that jerk production that he's now seemed to venture into. Pretty fantastic track. Might just be top 3 on the album. I seem to have a bias to the more modern underground production, but I came up as a reviewer of that style of music, so forgive me if my favorites tend to skew that way. Speaking of which, track 11, Mr. Block You, featuring Fake Mink. Another notable feature, to have Blade, Lil Pa, and Fake Mink on the same album, 3 UG GOATs. I mean, the features is pretty stacked, and I hope he can compete in his following project. The Fake Mink feature is absolutely incredible. The two artists complement each other wonderfully, and what more can be said? This is a very emotional cut from D-Money, very akin to Cherry Girl. He may even be rap singing about the same aforementioned Cherry Girl from Cherry Girl. And yeah, I have to say, fantastic track. Very vulnerable for D-Money, very vulnerable. Finally, So Amazing, featuring once again Doki Smooth. A bit of a Chief Keef inspired production on this one. I mean, you look at all the names I'm throwing everywhere, every which way. All rappers from all across the country, all with these different varying styles, come together in a melting pot of an album, finalized by a Chief Keef inspired production. Oh my god, this track, very noteworthy. He's kind of just boasting his fame, and the intro from Young Mart exclaims that he's here to stay. He's pretty much carved out his own new wave, and he will soon be a king of the UG in years to come. The track fades out, stops for a few seconds, and we are finalized. The album ends with a cover of Young Lean's Agony in full, blasting, piercing, sexy auto-tune. Oh my god, there was not a dry eye in the D-Money fandom when they heard So Amazing, they heard the song Close, and they heard a cover of Young Lean's Agony at the back end. May even be a reference to the 8485 virtual concert in which she ended her set with a cover of the same song, Agony, by Young Lean. Where that was a piano cover. This was more of a direct rip from the original instrumental, which is alright. We've seen him do it before on tracks 1 and 2. But yeah, I love this album through and through. It is my album of the year, and every single thing. Like I said, the best way to describe this album, a melting pot, a sonic melting pot of different ideas. A little Baby Tron there, a little Osa Mason there, a little Blade here, which, funnily enough, Blade himself actually featured on the album. Oh my god. This, I feel as though I can gush about this for hours, but the video seems to be taking a lot of time, and, well, I have to have sex with Sanjeet later. So, I will sign off and give this album a resounding, piercing, bulging 10. I'll see you in the next review. Any final words, Sanjeet?
I love great big black penis.
Oh my. You are vulgar.
That's me, Sanjeet.
And this is me, Daniel. Signing off.